Hello and welcome to IELTS Daily. My name is Chris, the IELTS expert, and this is the best place for you to practice your IELTS every day. In today's session, we're continuing our discussion around travel and tourism. Did you do some practice after our last session on part 2? Well, in today's session, we're looking at part 3 and some of the recent exam questions. Tip. Remember, it's a really good idea to record yourself using your smartphone. So nowadays, many smartphones have the recording software so you can listen to yourself after you have practiced. Try to think about you as an examiner listening to your recording. Do you like it? Do you use good vocabulary? Do you have any grammar mistakes? It's so important to record yourself. I think you should do that every time you practice. Part 3 of the speaking exam could be a number of different types of question. In today's session, the first question we're going to look at is, how can tourism negatively affect a region? Tip. It's super important to be prepared. This type of question is really similar to a writing essay question and also a part 3 speaking question. So let's brainstorm some ideas together now. So how can tourism negatively affect a region? Here are some ideas. As there are more people, this leads to more litter, pollution and traffic. It puts pressure on local services, such as hospitals. It can create seasonal unemployment. That means jobs are only available at particular times of the year. Local crime problems. That could be bad behaviour by tourists. Model answer. Tourism can have both positive and negative effects on a region. Allow me to talk about some of the damage that tourism can do to an area. The most obvious problem is an increase in pollution, traffic and litter. If a local authority or council doesn't provide more services, this will cause a problem for local people. Litter will accumulate and traffic will become so problematic that locals will begin to complain. Not only this, as the number of tourists increases, this can create some crime problems. There are some examples where tourists can behave really badly. They can be disrespectful to a local area, and there could be some culture clash. Okay, did you like that answer? Let's look at some more useful vocabulary that you could use during the exam. Vocabulary ideas. So let's think about vocabulary that you could use in this topic. It's also called lexical resource. You could say words like congested, easily overrun, disrespectful tourists, litter and pollution. What about the phrase, more tourists could result in? Pronunciation. Let's practice the pronunciation of some difficult words, because remember that 25% of your mark comes from pronunciation. Repeat after me. Congested, disrespectful, antisocial, disrespectful tourists, antisocial behaviour. It's important to use good, high-level vocabulary, but you have to use it correctly. Next, let's learn some new grammar in our teaching time. Teaching time. Do you know about prepositions? They're really important, so let's learn about them now. Prepositions are words such as at, on, by, in, out, and under. There are many of them in English, and sometimes they can't be changed. These are called dependent prepositions because they depend on the word before. In the IELTS exam, you need to know how to use dependent prepositions correctly. So, let's take a look at some examples now. Depend on. An example is, local communities depend on tourism. Deal with. Some local communities need to deal with the problems that tourism can bring. Complain about. Lots of local people complain about tourists. Object to. Some local people object to increased tourism. Recent exam questions. Before we finish, let's have a look at some of the other common questions that have appeared in the IELTS test with regards to the topic travel and tourism. How can tourism benefit a local area? How can ecotourism help a local area? Should tourists pay a local tax when they visit? Should tourists pay higher admission to museums and local attractions? I hope this gave you some ideas for speaking part 3. In the next session, we'll be talking about sports and fitness, another really common question in the IELTS speaking exam. My name is Chris, the IELTS expert and Band 9 scorer. This is IELTS Daily, the best way for you to practice IELTS every day. You're doing so well. Thanks for joining and see you soon.